press conference in which we, the ORF and the EBU, proudly present our project Eurovision Sign. The complete Eurovision Song Contest will be shown in international sign for deaf and hard of hearing people in Europe and all over the world. Eurovision Sign means all 40 songs, all show acts and even the live moderation are presented by a team of international performers and professional sign language interpreters, mostly deaf themselves. So I will introduce now the panel. That's John Olasand, Executive Supervisor from the EBU. In this case, he is my chief for the song contest. Yes. I am Edgar Böhm, I'm the executive producer for the ORF. And this is my colleague Eva Maria Hinterwirt from the ORF. She is the sign project manager of the ORF. And we are very proud for her work and what we will show it with her team.
And he's my chief now.
I'm very pleased to welcome 3 members of the Eurovision Sign performers team. Deli Yimas, a Eurovision Sign team leader and sign language interpreter. Hello. Hello. Sandra Schügel and Georg Marsch are sign language interpreters for international sign language. They are following our conversation via translation by our 2 interpreters, Isabella and Lena. I think with this project, ORF is entering a new stage. Now we wanted to create something extraordinary and completely new. The step further into inclusion, that's the word. Mostly deaf performers and interpreters are presenting all 40 songs, the show acts and the stage presentation in international sign. That is really new. I would now give the floor to Jon Ola, and he will tell you more about the importance of this first-time project in history of ORF and Song Contest. Please, Jon.
Yeah, thank you. We were approached by the ORF quite early, actually. ORF started to work on this project right after Conchita's victory in Copenhagen, and we were contacted by the ORF and asked if we could come on board this project. And as you all know, we have a broad range of members in very many countries, and we have also our sister organizations all around the world, so we reach out very broad. And we thought this was a great idea to come on board and to really broaden the scope for Eurovision Song Contest and broaden the reach to new audiences, and that was a fantastic opportunity that actually was given to us. And we also believe at the EBU that this is in the core of public service broadcasting, to be able to add something for everyone. And when we have this fantastic project, Eurovision Song Contest, this will be a great opportunity to do so. So we have worked over the last 5-6 months, contacting broadcasters, getting broadcasters on board, convincing them that this is a good idea. This already has a quite strong presence in the Nordic region, where several programs already go on air, also music programs with sign language, then in a national language. But we moved even further and throughout Europe. So it's a good number of broadcasters that are on board. Some of them are doing this on the web, and some of them doing it on their special channels dedicated for this type of programming, and some actually doing it as broadcast. It's all fed out from the EBU, from Vienna, out to our members. So this is quite a huge operation that we are extremely proud to be a part of.
So it's still the possibility to go in this project. Each company can enter it now. I think till Friday. Then it's. Then we close the doors. Yes.
At least
Okay.
Saturday everything is.
Now Eva Maria will introduce you the whole thing. Exactly.
Thank you very much. I would like to tell you a little bit about the beginning, the starting, and the process we were in the last months. And in fact, at the very beginning, soon after we knew that the Eurovision Song Contest would take place in Vienna, we talked, Edgar and me, we talked about how we can realize such a project, and we were discussing either to make it accessible or inclusive, and we soon decided let's enter and meet the challenge and try something new let's make it in an inclusive event. That means we invite deaf interpreters, deaf performers to show in a casting how they work with music, and we learned a lot in the last weeks and months from our interpreters and from our performers. And as Jon Ola said, from the very beginning on, we worked together with EBU, and thank you for the support. It was very, very important for us, and especially for me personally, to find the support that an organization is supporting us and is saying, yes, that's a great idea, and try it, meet the challenge, and do whatever is possible, and we will help you. More than 750,000 people in Europe are exclusively communicating in sign language. That's a lot. And we always hear, and it is always said, that music is a language which is understood by everyone. And we felt that we should make this word become reality, and to offer music to everyone, including deaf people. So we started with the casting, as I said, and that was very interesting, and soon found out at the end of the casting and a workshop about international sign, because we decided to present everything in international sign, we found out that we can perfectly match with our claim of building bridges. So our team comes from 6 different countries, one from China, from Nigeria, one from Turkey, Kurdish, from Denmark, Norway, and of course from Austria. And in the workshop and the casting, at the end of the casting, we presented our ideas and our concept and the main principles to the performers, which we chose and found that they are best for us and for our concept, and asked them whether they are willing to work hard. It was tough work, of course. Whether they are willing to learn international sign, whether they are willing to develop their personality, because we needed people with charisma. So we didn't need interpreters which are quite boring and translate word by word, but we needed actors and performers, in the sense we felt that's right. So that's not translation what we do. We present the complete Eurovision Song Contest in international sign, and hopefully you will enjoy it, what we did. But coming back to the principles, international sign, and then it's inclusive, from deaf people, for deaf people. So the only team member who is hearing is Dele, of course me, but I'm behind the scenes, so I'm organizing everything, and so all of them are, except Dele, are deaf. We said that within the concept there have to be horizontal and vertical lines, which means our presentation of a song, our performance of a song, has to perfectly match with that what takes place on the stage. So we don't do different things, but it shouldn't be stealing the show of the things that are happening on that wonderful stage here. That's the horizontal. Yeah? So throughout the complete presentation of the Eurovision Song Contest, the international sign, this should be the principle, yeah? Not stealing the show and following what's going on the stage. Yeah? Though we don't understand ourselves as word-by-word translators, of course. And the vertical line, and I think Deli will talk about that later on, means that it has to be a consistent story. The song has to be presented as a story, because there is no sense of repeating a refrain again and again. That's boring for deaf people. Or we have to introduce the emotion. So we started with the emotion. Which emotion should be transferred to the audience, and work with the emotion and write storyboards and discussing hours and weeks and months about the storyboards. About the storyboards and the storytelling, which is one of our main principles, Dilil will talk after. I think we can have a look at the video. It explains quite a lot about our work we did in the last months. You see, I'm very
Playing
proud.
with hands and singing with the body for deaf and hard of hearing final of the Eurovision Song Contest in international sign. Over the last weeks, Dele Yilmaz and his team have been creating storyboards for all 40 songs as well as the show acts. Let's have a look behind the scenes.
Do you see the song? Better? The songs of all participating countries will be pre-recorded in the next days in international sign. ORF will present both the semi-finals and the final of the Eurovision Song Contest in a separate stream. 7 international interpreters were trained. Every performance is assisted by a so-called feeder. All team members are deaf. Only Deli Yilmaz can hear. It took weeks to develop the choreographies of the songs.
Beim ESC ist es so, dass es das erste Mal so ist,
It's
dass
the
wir
first time that deaf
also
people are working for deaf people in such a project. This is inclusion and building bridges. You have to live inclusion, and that's what happens here in the project.
Und man soll Inklusion leben und das passiert.
The stage presentations as well as the show acts will be translated into international sign. How can songs be translated?
Wir übersetzen nicht.
We do not translate word by word, but created stories which we perform. That's very exciting for us. We had a lot of discussions. It took nights until we found the stories behind all songs. We always asked which story best fits the lyrics. Besides the tough work, it was fun too.
Dancing hands, dancing faces. The songs in international sign are a unique experience not only for deaf and hard of hearing people, but also for those who aren't very familiar with English. Enjoy the songs.
We will be able to see the translations parallel to the live shows, the 2 semi-finals in our ORF TV, the TV library, and the grand final on ORF2 Europe.
Well, the first question people are asking me is, how is it possible to make music accessible for deaf people? Well, this was the first question I was asking myself last year when ORF was contacted me. And first, I think that every one of you has already seen a sign language interpreter in his life. If not, we have 2 here in action, 1 hearing interpreter and 1 deaf interpreter. So we have here more languages. I'm talking in English. My colleague is translating in her head into German and then in Austrian Sign Language. And our deaf interpreter is taking the Austrian Sign Language texts and is producing international sign. Well, this is a process we did last month with all the songs. You can imagine how much we worked. Well, when I'm interpreting in community settings in my daily life, like at various places. It is important that I have to be very exact in my interpretation. I have to interpret word by word sometimes, because it makes huge differences if you're saying you will get arrested or you will not get arrested. Yeah? And it should be mentioned that sign languages, they have their own sign language, they have their own systems, language systems, own grammar, and every country has its own sign language. The Eurovision Song Contest is a huge music event for hearing people. And Eurovision Sign is a project following a new concept which makes this huge music event accessible for deaf people and for 1 million deaf people in Europe. It is not about interpreting word by word like at lawyers' places. It is more about visualizing the emotions behind the lyrics and the instruments, the music. So we decided to mix it up. We are interpreting, we are performing at the same time. For each song we created a story which includes the main message of the song, and we tried to stick on the words, on the lyrics, as far as possible. Our principles are, our target audience are deaf people, and we have to be understandable for these people, so we choose international sign. I want to give you an example about our concept, the so-called storytelling. The UK will present this year a very energetic song. It is about a man and a woman who are singing a song called Still in Love with You. This is the title of the song. The intro of the song, and where you're talking about the first 15 to 20 seconds, there is only music, instruments, violins, tubes. So you may ask, what are you doing here? There is no text. Well, we didn't sign piano, violin, because this is a message for a deaf guy who never heard a single tone in his life. I don't think this is really necessary. It's the same if you're sharing yourself as with a blind person, so it doesn't make sense. So we put, in these cases, we work with storytelling. First, we checked the lyrics of the song. What is the song about? And the UK song is about love. These two guys are proving in these 3 minutes all the time their love, love, love. So, love is the main topic. Secondly, how is the connection between these two people? They are proving their love. The man is more macho, he's a guy, he knows everything, and the woman is more, I just want to be pretty. So this is her attitude. This 15 to 20 seconds we used to introduce these two people. It's me who's going to perform this song. You can watch it on Saturday on Eurovision TV. And you will recognize when I'm turning to the right side in the first 15 to 20 seconds, I'm acting very feminine. Maybe you won't recognize it now, I hope so, but I'm acting very feminine in this video. Like I'm putting perfume and makeup on my face, and when I'm turning to the left side, I'm the man with the barb, yeah? So I have to introduce these two people so the deaf viewers can imagine what's gonna happen, what is the song about. Well, we are 6 performers in our group, like our manager said, and we work. I love that work, and I love to work with my deaf interpreter colleagues, because without them it wouldn't be possible to realize this project. In this work, it is very important to work with deaf people, because it's their language, it's sign language, and sign language is the language of deaf people, and if they are only hearing people working, I think that wouldn't be okay, and I think you will understand this. So I think my colleagues, they are going to explain what international sign is.
Perhaps we can have a look at another video, because pictures say more than words.
You will see popular song.
I'm gonna fly.
Retribution, you were wrong.
see this song tomorrow. It's part of the opening. So perhaps Sandra can tell a little bit about international sign.
Yes, of course. Thank you for giving me the word. International sign, what's that exactly? I want to explain that for you. Every country has its own national sign language. So, it has always been like that deaf people come across at conferences, meetings internationally, and they created international sign, the so-called traffic language. It is not a language recognized, it has not a system and grammar, because every country has its own culture. Like in Africa or Asia or Europe, there is a different way of expressing things. Also, the body language is different, gestures, visual signs are different. But international sign is a system and not a language. And I thought that it's a very good idea to have a song contest in international sign. So every country will understand our presentation. And I think it's a fantastic